As you can see, the engine is back in the car, and things are looking a lot more put together. So a couple of the key components we're looking at are the TF Works 4-into-1 headers. Doesn't really matter which angle you look at these, they're pretty spectacular. But you can see the kind of fitment is perfect. This is a little harder to see, but it dumps right between the transmission and the frame rail. Couldn't ask for better fitment, really. Needed slight modification to the flange to get it on. It was a hair away from going on. It didn't require much, honestly. A very unique thing about the build is now this sway bar. So any K24 swap has some kind of sway bar concern. If you watch the Jimmy Oakes build, the TF Works pan will foul on the traction brackets here. I think I'm calling them the wrong name. Let's call them the sway bar brackets. And so they cut and notch them. I didn't really like that. I'm trying to avoid fabrication on this build in general. And I'd heard the E30 pan from K-Power would fit without any mods. And it's true, it clears the subframe perfectly, but it was fouling the stock sway bar. It would line up pretty much on this weld, so it was close but not quite. So this is just a custom sway bar that basically this plane is extended a couple inches such that as the sway bar passes through here, it creates this gap. So that's really nice. I've been distracted by a lot of small things along the way. You'll see zinc bolts and things like that. The intake side is looking pretty good. There's a lot of K-Power stuff here. So we've got the K-Power fuel rail, switch to RDX injectors. So I've got those ready to go. Making up the fuel system has been a big deal. You may or may not know that as standard, the hard lines would exit over here, and you'd have a fuel filter right there. Generally speaking, I don't like the proximity of that, having really old fuel lines next to very hot headers. So it seemed kind of a 2-for-1. Relocate for better placement and get rid of all the old stuff. I've been using pretty much all vibrant hoses and fittings. With the odd kind of radium pieces in here, saying that I've got an Acuity fuel pressure gauge. I've got a radium regulator right here. It's kind of mounted to the body, as you can see. Hopefully this is going to be kind of a nice spot to come in and adjust out of everything, but it was a bit of a guess. The fuel lines are kind of disconnectable pretty close to the firewall, which is just nice generally. So let me try and hook you in here. You can see that the fuel filter is here, and there's a firewall like AN fitting here with a small bracket to be able to cut this one off that comes back from the fuel pressure regulator. All of this goes all the way back to the tank, which I'll show you briefly. Is a brand new tank because the existing one is pretty crusty. So this is overnight parts from Japan. I'm still waiting for a fuel filler to come back. You can't get them new, but I'm having mine zinc coated. The issue with this tank, you can probably tell, really need some light in here. Let's see what we can do about that. Not much right now, but I think you get the idea. It's pretty brown. It didn't seem worth saving. Interior wise, not a huge amount has changed. I've got some things ready to put seats in here. If you take a look back there in the parts bin, you can see some T3 seat mounts and so on. We got a new work spell quick release here, waiting for a steering wheel to come in. I've just spent some time scrabbling around in the footwell because I decided to change the master cylinders while I'm in here. Because why wouldn't you? So this is a fresh clutch master. I think this is the ZE one. I just painted the standard booster. I don't have any of the hoses, so I've got a fresh hose here, and it's just connecting to a check valve off Summit. And K-Power has like this nice low down barb for vacuum source, and then I've plugged this one. The rest of this intake's kind of kitted out, right? So we've got map sensor on here ready, the throttle's ready to go. As you can see, the standard throttle cable is a bit long. I'm gonna try a like EK cable and see if that's any better. It's going to require some modification at the firewall to make it work. This one will work, but it's going to bend quite a bit, and the end fitting here is too large for this. I could drill this out, whatever, but it feels like a shorter cable might be nice. Still a few things to sort. You'll see the steering column is not connected. Reasons for that are interesting. So, previous owner who did a beam swap in this fitted this thing, which looks like it's been extended or welded on to make it reach. Obviously, because whether you're doing a K24 or a beams, you're spacing the subframe significantly, right? So I need to order the MK3 intermediate shaft and fit that. Let's see, what else is going on? Obviously the whole engine is mounted, everything's good to go there. Part of ripping out hard lines was removing the clutch line. You can kind of see that this line right here, this is just a custom hell line that's running from the master here down to the slave. In terms of that, it's kind of all new stuff here because it didn't come with the transmission. Let's see if we can brighten this up at all. So the slave is here, right? And this is actually an AP1 slave on an AP2 box. Reason being for that is to avoid the clutch delay valve. Yeah. What else? Got a few more goodies, things waiting to go on. A bunch more line here and radium vibrant fittings, sorry. And that is because if you peek in here, you'll see that there is a fitting for coming out of where the PCV would usually be. Obviously I need a new valve cover, so I'm gonna have like the radium press-in fitting come out of there. JSP has the catch can pre-order next month, so that is gonna solve any PCV catch can related issues. I haven't really touched cooling yet. I've got the K-Power fitting back here, so we're not just pointing at the firewall. Oh, this is a really cool piece, by the way. This is the Track Tough water bypass, so it means you can run the K-Power intake that does not have coolant running through it. So if you want to remove your intake, you don't have to bleed the whole system. And then that's just going down to the regular thermostat, and I'm planning to just find a 120 degree hose to point it the other way. I know there's adjustable options, but I'll try this first. And you'll see that it's capped. There's a hybrid racing cap to delete the heat. Yeah, so that covers a lot of the setup there. This is the Acuity K-series sensor. The K-Power throttle body is B-series. There's a little adapter in here that was an absolute nightmare to fit. But that's really the build so far. Got a few little other goodies in here, like a Cusco bar to go on, and little small things like, you know, I'm sure you're all looking at that oil filter being like, the heck is that? You know, all the usual servicing stuff. Yeah, this is it. And a couple of interesting things for much later. Let me just come in the back of the car here. This will be a clue for some of you, maybe. I know this is dark. All right, that's all.